So you're going to need, here's how this is going to go down. You're going to need a copy of Dadaism number 4. It's up on iTunes, you can buy it, or Apple Music, you can download it if you have Apple Music. So the link to that is in the description. We have our news article. I updated it with the widgets for iTunes and Apple Music. And so we're going to be listening to it together offline. I can't actually play the album itself on the stream due to copyright reasons and out of respect to the artist. So I've actually got it here on my phone because I wanted to use my AirPods this time, and my new setup, since I'm on Windows but I'm on Mac, it's like it's all kind of weird, you know. But you know, so while I get that finalized and figured out, you know, some of my stuff doesn't work quite so well. Plus, I have more. It's just easier for me to just like fucking do it on Apple Music, because that's where I will be listening to it. So you're getting the full Jeff DeWitt music listening experience here. So yeah, get your copy of Dadaism number 4, and we're going to sync up. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, play, and I'm gonna tap play when I say play, and we'll pause in between on each one, in between each track briefly, and kind of react. And yeah, feel free to have fun while out in the chat, and you know, share your thoughts on each track, and we will go from there. You can support the channel if you'd like by donating through Streamlabs. I had all these gifts prepared and everything like that, so I mean, I was prepared on my end, guys. But you know, apparently it's like, imagine like you just opened up iCloud one day and it just like reset all your videos, projects that you, or iMovie one day, and it just like reset all your movies that you made, and like deleted all your assets. That's where I'm at. So if you do donate, you won't get a gift that normally shows up on stream right now, because apparently I have to just go take an axe to this whole setup now. But I should be able to see it on the dashboard, so I will read out your message if it comes through. It's all optional. I'm just throwing it out there, but more because usually the gifts are, you know, we pick really funny animated gifs, and for this one it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So but yeah, okay, so without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. So what do you guys think? Do you think I should clip this first part out for the stream recording, or and start, you know, right around here, or should I leave it in? And are you guys ready to go as well? You guys have your copy of Dadaism ready to go? Let's see what people are saying. Okay. This album is hashtag good shit. I'm living for this, Jeff Rage and DADAROMA. What a fine way to end the week. Save it for the next rant stream. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Speaking of, there is going to be an after hours stream tonight at 10. If I can get things working again. I had a whole little bit I wanted to do at the beginning, but it's pretty straightforward. It is basically a rant, so I'm already worked up. I think it would be better to clip it out. Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, yep, we'll do. Okay, guys, here we go. So we're going to be live reacting. Starting now. So, first up is Hotaru, track 1. So we're gonna start Dadaism number 4. Let me just double check I'm synced up here. Okay, cool. Starting. All right, so track number 1, Hotaru, Dadaism number 4, DADAROMA. It's finally time. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, interesting. Some very horror strings and piano music now. Ooh, sorry. I think I just spit there. Okay, so it's a full-length track. It's not a OHP or OHP. SE. Ooh. Oh, listen to that. That crisp sound of the guitars and the piano. Okay, yeah. I know some people were saying in the Discord they mentioned Durangray influences. I can see it here, or hear it here, but yeah, oh yeah, with that high pitched falsetto, and then the creepy corn inspired like plucking, yeah. Uh, but it's like, the piano and the crisp conduction and. Oh wow! And then it just switched to this melodic chorus. I thought there was like something more pop oriented. That's why I was going for alternative metal, because that's more of the way that you would describe that kind of stuff. Oh, this is really chill, man. Oh wow. Oof, that guitar solo. A nice use of Yoshiatsu's skills. I'm loving the inclusion of the piano in a song that's not a piano version. Yeah, it comes out really well. I mean, that's what put them on the map in the beginning was the Oboreru Sakana PV, and that was, I mean, it had some electronic stuff, but like it had that orchestral music, and that was like the vibe it was going for. Um, and like everyone was like, yes, I live for that. So I'm glad they brought it back here. You know, I'm trying to describe like what exactly they're doing here that's like hooking people in, even though it's so heavy. It reminds me of like the appeal of new metal, but not really the same sound at all. It's like if you replaced the power chord riffs in new metal with like more metalcore or alt metal riffs, and then you replace like the more stereotypical electronic music or backing or hip hop beats and DJ scratches with like pop sounds. And I guess pop sounds include some electronic, it can include symphonic, It can include all kinds of stuff. I think that's where we're at right now. I would just be like, oh, so it's alternative metal, but it's like, it's not quite. It's a repeatable pattern that's so specific that like that's where new metal came from. Is that like new metal is a type of alternative metal that was so identifiable that it became its own little thing. And I know like a lot of artists hate being called that, but whatever DADAROMA is doing, it's becoming more and more like that, and that's fine. I'm just like I'm trying to like put my finger on exactly what it's reminding me of. So the closest thing I'm getting is it's like that feel good heaviness and an emotional impact and like digestibility and diversity that came with like the good new metal. So okay, that track is over. Let me set up the next one. Okay. Yeah, that was really nice and chill. I'm surprised. I mean, it was heavy, but it was like, like I said, it was like packing a lot of emotional punch, and, but it was just kind of relaxing. I would listen to that to like, like calm down a little bit almost. It would be my version of calming down because, as you guys know, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So it's hard for me to get into slow songs. So that was like a slow, fast, heavy, light song, heavy, soft song. Okay, next song is Hayato Brazier to Watashi. No comment. It's Yoshiatsu. It's DADAROMA. I don't think there's a ton of looking into that needs to be done for this. So, Takashi kills that guitar part. They're doing what they want to do. That's it. Yeah, but it's like I know where they're getting their ideas from to a certain degree. It's just they're really, really good at like making it their own. Like I think what they're doing is very smart. Like to clarify, when I'm comparing it to new metal, remember how wildly successful Linkin Park was on their first two albums. Like that's what I'm talking about, not like Limp Bizkit. So I can't listen to it. I wish I could hear what you guys are saying, but I will after the stream. Yep. So the stream recording will be up, and like I said, I'm syncing up in between tracks. So 6 out of 10 on the pronunciation. I'm just, yeah, okay. Yep. I mean, fair enough. All right. So track 2, we'll just call it that. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, the carnival circus music makes a return. Interesting. Is it carnival circus or like the old school? Oh man, they're really going for the symphonic music this album. I love that they're going for the symphonic music this hard. My foot is tapping. I don't know. You can't tell. Can I bounce my... This is another thing. They did this on Phantom Pain. This is like a ska-ish like riff. Well, it was. Now they're back to like some dope ass metal. Yeah, see, now it's back. I like it. See, this is what they're really good at, is they will take something that you're kind of familiar with and put a fresh spin on it. everybody, like, everybody likes their catchy, like, Furutsuki friendly songs like this, like Pentagon Japan does some really good, stuff like that. But then they're doing the symphonic thing, man. There's not a lot of the metal bands that are just going that in on it. If they are, they're like a symphonic metal. But like, I like it because I can just definitely hear the violins in the background. It's very nice. I'm just like imagining between the ska, the ska rhythms and the metal rhythms, and the and the symphonic elements. I'm just picturing like a conductor conducting an orchestra while doing like a two-step, and then like headbanging at the same time. Oh my god. Yeah, but it's a fresh sound. I really like it. And Takashi's killing it with the guitar solo again. And Yoshiatsu's voice is really improving. Like, damn. Because I've been listening since the beginning. And yeah, he's definitely improved. I guess I was expecting this to be like more vicious and savage of an album. I mean, I'm only 2 tracks in, but this is like definitely different from what I expected, but still heavy. That's what's weird. It's either way, this feels like the right direction. Like, this feels like a great direction to take metal and Visual K. Not the only way, of course, but like, yeah. Okay, finally we have track 3. No rating on the pronunciation for this. This is not a word, by the way. Okay, this is a play on words that was not. I don't know how much thought was given to the romanization or the English pronunciation. So this is the PV track. It's Toksururira, which sounds completely different from the way he says it. Literally on Apple Music, it's Toxururira. I don't know where the X is coming from, but yeah, Torurira is how Google is saying it in chat. That's what I thought it was too, but look, that's what they put up on Apple Music, so that's what everybody's gonna see. That's what how everyone's gonna read it. So, Torurira, Toxururira. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, I don't know if maybe I can where's my, can you see this if I show it? You see that? Isn't that wild? Apple Music is wrong. I mean, it's DADAROMA on Apple Music, so I don't know. I actually don't know if we have a source for the proper way to say it yet, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going with Tororurira or something. I don't know, the PV track. Anyway, either way, I'm just really excited because I have had the PV on repeat, and I definitely want to have the full song now, so it doesn't just cut off and like mess up the song in my head. So yeah, here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Strings again. Give it to me. Give me that breakdown. It sounds so good. Oh man. I also love that this is like this breakdown and the stuttering and stuff. It is Black Swan as fuck, but like infused with DADAROMA energy. And the new drummer was the ex drummer of the Black Swan, and I'm like all about it, man. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I love everything I've heard about this song so far. So from the PV, but yeah, the singing in the background. This is very DADAROMA. Like if you listen to Oboreru Sakano, which was their first PV, you know, it had that melodic side where it's slow and the soft singing, but it was heavy and brutal at the same time. It's really been an amazing year for Visual K. Like, it's like, how can we make DADAROMA better? Well, we can infuse them with, you know, the band that most of their fans were listening to before they came around, like before DADAROMA was around, the Black Swan, and make them darker and crazier and more elegant. Yeah, that sounds great to me. um, I also love like there's so much going on in this song and it's still so catchy. And I think it's because of the drumming. So good job, Ryohei slash Len. I should just call him Ryohei. I guess this is his new name. Yeah, the full PV isn't up yet. We would have posted it, um, like from the official source. I don't think it'll be up. Sometimes they put full PVs, but lately they haven't really. Yeah, if they don't upload it on the channel, then they we discourage we don't recommend watching unofficial uploads because those we've talked about it on past streams. We've had promoters on here. The artists come and the artists check their YouTube channels for plays and stuff like that, and if your plays are going to a different channel, they don't know that you're interested in them, and if they don't know that you're interested in them, then they don't have a reason to justify coming to your country for tour. So just keep in mind, like, you know, it's a free country. Nobody's going to arrest you for, you know, listening to an unofficial upload or whatever. But um, it does have a consequence that, like, if the views are going to because if they don't have the full PV up on their channel, then it means that they're trying to they're trying to include it as a bonus for buying a type. And that's why a lot of them, even if they do put them up, they'll have like a lot of text talking about like the latest release or like their tour, and it'll be across the PV. So one way you can literally passively just add to the chances of one of your favorite bands coming to your country from Japan is by watching their official uploads and not the unofficial uploads. That was a little behind the scenes peek. I'm gonna clip that out, I think, from the stream with the promoter that we did with, I think it was Rubab, and Lori talked about it too. Yeah, that's just our take on it. But you don't. Everyone is your own person. Everyone is your own self. Yeah, that's what we've been told and advised. So, but yeah, okay. So I mean, I guess I wasn't missing much from the PV version. It's just the last part of the song. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a great song. It's really energetic. I think I was hoping it would get heavier or something, or something like that. But honestly, like the mood, I'm understanding the mood of the album. It's not quite as heavy as I was expecting so far. But I mean, we're only halfway through. But I'm seeing, but it's really good. It's a really good mood. I'm liking this mood, and it's plenty heavy already, you know. So, it's just I don't know how heavy I was expecting. You know, metalhead expectations. It's like, how brutal will it be? And they're like, no, we're going to, you know, do something a little more civilized and throw in some symphonic music, do a haunted house kind of thing. You know. You see the haunted house on the I don't know if you can see, but that's their dope album cover. So next track is Charisma Rockstar Ha Urenaize. Yeah, Gula just flunked me on that pronunciation. I don't even know. I'm done with everything but listening to DADAROMA right now. So. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Okay, I think I'm trying to. Nice. I like it. Ooh, listen to the bass. Oh, that changed very drastically. Or not super drastically. Wow. All right. I thought this track was going to be way more predictable than it was. Like, you know, that first part, it's kind of a rock, you know, rock hype up song. I could place my finger on it if I thought, but now, like when it did the slowdown and now this, like, oh man, this is like really, really dope. the chant in the background, it kind of cracks me up. This is absolutely the Furutsuki song for them. I like that like slow melody of the electronic synth in the background. That's a cool. The spooky. Oh, you just woohooed. Yeah, cool. This is what the live's gonna be like. This is a bunch of Japanese girls going like that. And then like this. But yes, it is going to be lit. This part right here, this slow part with that like that bouncing melody, that's really nice. I like that. And then it switches into this pounding riff. Yeah, I like it, man. This is really cool. Yeah, that the chorus really does have like a indie live feel to it. Like an indie fan favorite live song. It's nice. They're staying pretty based as an indie band in spite of the fact that they're like they've gotten quite big, you know. I find it funny that they have a song called Charisma Rockstar when they're the most charismatic band I've seen in a while. Yeah, who would have thought that the next band for of the ex vocalist of Crazy Shampoo of all bands of all artists would be like such a banger. Like no disrespect to Yoshiatsu's last band, it's just like the jump from that to this is like insane. Like it's so random, like, but yeah, sometimes you just need to change shit up really hard, and then once you find something that works, you know, just commit to that philosophy, whatever that change up in your, you know, approach to shit is, because it's working really well for DADAROMA. So all right, next track is Kiss Wo Shio. Yeah, sure. Kiss Wo Shio. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just jump right into that one. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, see, I was talking about new metal. This sounds like Numb. This reminds me of Numb by Linkin Park, this like opening part here. Oh, but that part doesn't. The next part doesn't. Oh, I like this. Pounding synth? Not synth. Electronic. I don't know if that's remixed guitar in the background there. Or a distorted bass. Now piano. The bass beat. They're really doing a good job at very evenly blurring genres here. That's what I'm really impressed by, is like the mixing and the balancing. Like this part here, it's really hard to say. Again, like, you know, like with the LMC album and other bands and other albums, it's hard to tell where the like the metal ends and the pop begins. And that's really cool. It's taken bands years to figure out. Japanese bands. US bands aren't even really close. Maybe Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse has made a surprising comeback in terms of being innovative, but we'll see. That was good. 7 out of 10. Okay, yeah, when I just give up and don't try and just shoot from the hip, I feel like I do better with my own pronunciations. This album has been one of my favorite releases this year, not gonna lie. Yeah, Yeah, I can see why. There's been so many good releases though. Like it's crazy, and it's looking like 2019 is probably gonna be even crazier. Like we there won't be. I think it's going to be indie band insanity next year, but like the big indie bands like Dadaroma from Dadaroma on up, and also the really small indie bands that are starting out that have a ton of potential. And as those of you who watch the show are probably well aware, the indie scene is in this crazy flux right now, where it's just all kinds of like innovative, fresh, experimental stuff going on. And it's a powder keg, and it's starting to explode, man. Powder keg of creativity. Yeah, so I guess that counts as a ballad, but I really like what they were doing with the distortion on some of that, on some of like their, the metal instruments and things like that. That was some cool shit. That was really interesting. It is almost more like a Western style of production that it does take to get to that kind of level of mixing. But it's like you have to, it seems like you have to start from an Eastern perspective. Like, referencing LMC again, that album is only so well produced because IG has become such an amazing producer. If you look at other Western albums that have been produced and they do sound kind of poppy, they don't sound like, well, where does the rock stop and the pop begin or the electronic music begin? They sound like rock music drowned in production value, or drowned in, pop effects. Which is something very different from blending a bunch of sounds together to create a new sound. Like that's and evolving the genre. Um, but that's our industry for you. Oh, just drown in pop music, sell out, and run it through the machine. The kids will love it. The kids will love it. Okay, so next song is A Plane, Plain. So not a airplane, but I guess I don't know. Okay, we're gonna start this track in 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, we got the opera. Oh, nice. Is this Pornograph Part 2? Wow, they're really, really fleshing out their melodic side here, in spite of being keeping it pretty heavy. Yes, cheeky vaping. Yeah. Catchy chorus catchy emotionally driven chorus intensifies. I didn't even say anything. No, no. I was reacting to the song. I was just like, oh man, because I caught myself doing this. I was like, I should probably explain myself. The chorus is really catchy and emotional. When they have those swirling synths like that, like which they did in Oboreru Sakana, Rain just did it in their latest PV that they put out on YouTube. Oh, you're talking about the vape. Yeah, I cut you off. I cut you off at the pass. Man. Yeah, I cut you off at the pass. You want to hear something crazy? Florida passed a law that. Here's the two parts of the law, okay? This just happened. First part, banning offshore drilling. Second part, banning vaping inside of businesses. Welcome to my state. Man. All right. And then the last track is, I guess, piano version. So that's this last track is let me get it set up. Sorry. It's called Ukami Shonen to Dokuringo, piano version. I don't remember. Let me see. I don't remember that track off the top of my head. Oh God, what did I just do? Nothing. I did nothing. Oh, it's from Dadaism number 3, I see. Which I was listening to, but I'm still not fully familiar with the tracks on that album by name, so, but I'll probably recognize it. What is wrong with your state? Horn of strange people. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, yeah, Florida's fucked. Florida's beyond fucked. I mean, it's fine to live in, but it's just in terms of like the advice I was given on voting was, it's Florida. They're both corrupt. Pick one, or you know, vote in this way or that way. But you're going, if you're going for, I want to find good people that are going to run the state right. It's like, nope. And then the laws you have to be like extra careful about because it's bullshit like that gets in there. It's like, I sent it to other people too out of state, and they were like, "This is insane." I'm like, "Yeah, this is. I mean." Yeah. Anyways, we will play the final track. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Do 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 do. Okay, I recognize this song now. Yeah, see, like I said, I was listening to Dadaism number 3 to catch up a little bit. It's kind of spooky. uh, I didn't think this was going to keep my attention, but I'm getting goosebumps a little bit. So, man, he really slowed it down for dramatic effect, and you know what? It works really well here. Gould normally doesn't listen, normally skips over this song in the original, but the piano version she loves. Yeah, I can see why. Like, it's this is a really well done piano version, I gotta say. What can't they do? Well, that's, I mean, not to be a downer, but that's what always makes me really excited but really nervous about bands like them is because, you know, if they're really versatile and experimental and they can do anything, it also means anything also includes making pop rock for the rest of their career once they realize that that sells really well. But DADAROMA's done a really good job at keeping it fresh. And there's nothing wrong with like experimenting with mainstream. I actually like the concept of pop metal, and this is like the closest I've seen in a while. I'm not talking about like baby metal and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking about like um, basically like alt rock has like been at the point where it's like really mainstream with a bit of rock, but like if you get the balance right, it doesn't sound like just straight rock, and it doesn't sound like straight pop. It's like its own thing, and it can be unique and interesting. Alternative metal is still very much metal on like on the metal side of the scale with a bit of alternative. There's not a lot of people that have figured out basically how to like have a 50-50 split of that. I would actually say the people that are the closest to figuring that out are DJs, the metal step DJs, like Heavy Grinder, uh, who Fake Star brings to a lot of their shows, a lot of anime raves and things like that, or like so artists like Heavy Grinder, or there's a South American or Central American DJ called Zardonic that has figured it out to a bit. But in terms of metal bands, they're still kind of figuring it out. So, like the extent of the alternative metal is like, it's still just like mixing it. It's still just like it's intertwining the sounds together. Like the Gazette has made a lot of progress with it. Um, but like in terms of like the ultimate leaders of the genre, like even like Slipknot and stuff, it's more about like, oh, it's metal, but it's with like a different kind of rhythm than you would expect, or it has like some sound sampling in the background, so it's not quite the same kind of fusion experience as something like alt rock. Whereas alt rock, like the leaders of alt rock are people like 21 Pilots, where you listen to that and you're like, uh, well, it's a huge split. It's like someone like Coldplay or Imagine Dragons, which sounds like trash. I won't say Coldplay. I haven't heard Coldplay in a while, but like Imagine Dragons, like status update, they just put out a new album. Still sounds like trash. Apparently, it got worse. And then you have bands like 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco. You know, his his current sound, and that stuff sounds amazing and unique. So, but all metal's not like that. It's very much like just more metal. It's metal. It's like a little weirder. So, or a little weirder, or like with a little bit more different like song structures and stuff. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to talk through the entire piano track, but yeah, it's really nice, man. It's a nice piano track. There's just not a lot for me to say during the soft songs, but I will fall asleep to that probably. But yeah, so I mean, going off of that, this is now that the mini album's over, like this is the furthest I've seen a band successfully go in finding that 50-50 split of alt metal in a little while, in a good decent while, I think. I don't know if the Gazette really wants to do it that way. I think they want to stay hard, at like have the rock effect out front, and just find new and unique ways to mix new styles and sounds together, for example. So I don't even think they want to try like to fully fuse the, to kind of pull off like the LMC is like my prime example right now at this point, and now DADAROMA will probably be my prime indie example unless I'm missing something. But in terms of like being able to mix your music in a way to where it's like you can't tell where the metal ends or the rock ends and like the other genres begin, like I think that's going to be hugely popular on a global scale in the near future, because that's what we're seeing like other bands do in the industry. The few bands in the West that are actually still have a following and still have a decent sound. So I'm talking like 21 Pilots, Bring Me the Horizon, Nothing More to a degree. Because Nothing More is still pretty kind of more on the rock side, but they experiment a lot as well. But especially those first two, they're really getting to that point where it's just like this really nice, this really seamless fusion of like the harder sounds and the sounds from the other genres. And that's something that Japanese bands have been perfecting for a while. Like Man with a Mission's there, Alexandros is there. I could name other ones, I'm sure. So it's all kind of converging on that. So to see DADAROMA kind of heading in that direction, but still able to shift out of it into like some harder sounds and stuff, it's very impressive. So this album wasn't what I was expecting. I guess based on my impression from the PV and the dark aesthetic and stuff, I thought it was going to be even more brutal. Really, it wasn't that. It was almost like a mixture of Dadaism number 3 and This Is Live, which makes sense because Dadaism number 3 was like them experimenting, like pushing their range as broad as possible, and then This Is Live was a return to like the core like insanity, like the core high energy intensity, craziness of DADAROMA, but with their modern sound. So you put those two together and you get like a high energy but very melodic and pop and symphonic and electronic infused sound, and that's really cool. It's really interesting. So I don't need every DADAROMA album to be like full of headbangers. Like This Is Live was like DADAROMA ear candy to the max or whatever, but this one got you thinking. This one got you being like, oh, I didn't know you could pull that off. Like I did that. So that's really cool. I think this is a big deal. It's probably I think it's low key a big deal. Some of the tricks they pulled here in terms of mixing those genres and sounds properly. I think Let me see if I pull up the song names. Yeah, I think Charisma Rockstar Oda Naize is doing some very, very interesting stuff. Wait, was it that one? No, not that one. Sorry. That one is interesting and fun and a banger and all over the place. But I think what I was specifically looking for was. I mean, basically, Uplane, Kiswoshio, I think, especially. Yeah, Kiswoshio. I think what's going on in Kiswoshio is especially interesting and important to pay attention to because the stuff they're pulling off in there, that's a very, 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 how should I say this? They might have struck gold with that. Like, there's parts in there where I'm like, is that metal step? Is that metal pop? Did they finally figure it out coming at it from the metal side? Because the metal step DJs have figured it out for a while, but yeah. Anyway, overall, like I like it. It's very interesting. Very. It's like this could have been like such a generic sound if you look at it on paper. It's like, okay, like alt metal, symphonic stuff, some pop stuff and some electronic stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we've kind of been through this the last couple of years in various forms, but the way they put it all together, it's very DADAROMA, first of all, and secondly, it's I think it's pushing the experimentation forward overall for the scene. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm pretty impressed with it. We'll see. I'm going to be listening to it on repeat tonight for sure, but we'll be seeing how I'll see how much replay value it has. But it's just there's a lot to take in and enjoy there. It's very. Very fresh, very, very interesting. I wasn't paying attention previously, but did you have a haircut? No, my hair just looks like shit because I had some personal stuff I had to take care of suddenly last night, so I was up all night and ended up sleeping, wasn't feeling good, and yeah, so unfortunately. But yeah, let me see. What is chat saying? Or what else is chat saying? True, but I don't think they'll do that. Go mainstream, that is. I mean, I would be. Maybe give it like a few more mini albums, but I would be incredibly curious what a major label signed DADAROMA would be like, if they were signed to the right label. I've always said I think this band has the star power, has the potential, has the formula to just become like another Gazette. I think this band is Mejibre 2.0. I think this is I genuinely have thought that since the first mini album they put out. Is I was like, this is like what this is like this is like the younger child that the parents figured out how to raise properly after screwing up with Mejibre. the older banished stepchild or whatever. Sorry anyone that really likes Mejibre. I really liked Mejibre too, but and they were on that track, but then things happened. But okay, but to be honest, your hair doesn't look that bad over the internet. Well, I appreciate it. But But I'm gonna be working on my personal presentation more than anything. The bigger thing is the lighting and filters. That's what I'm going to be changing up the most. But because I think Dadaroma is Dadaroma. Damn, Mijibre still wasn't ready. I don't think they are anyone else. The thought comparing bands scared me. Well, I mean, if you write in the industry, like I have, like it's not an insult to compare them. It's these bands are inspired by each other, and it's not a bad thing. Like we have a bad reputation as Western fans in the States, not like just Western metal fans in general, not just Japan, because we have that cringy hipster culture that was like, oh, this is a ripoff of this. It's like, no, it's not a ripoff. It's just, if you're being intellectually honest with yourself, most great bands don't make huge leaps forward in terms of this is something that's never been done before. They take two new things and put them together, or two familiar sounds and try something new, or they take an already established sound and they add a new thing on top of it. And that doesn't just apply to music. That applies to technology. That applies to apps. That's my field, but that's what like Uber is. Uber is a delivery app plus taxis. That's just two things, and they revolutionize the industry. It's just the reality of what's going on. Like even like Rides in Rebellion, when we interviewed them, like their guitarist is like, yeah, I'm inspired by X Japan and the Gazette's Division album, and you could exactly point that out and pick that out, and that's fine to do. It's just it's interesting to point that out, because then you can kind of guess where the trends are going in the future. So that's why I bother to do it, is because it kind of gives you the sight a little bit. You can kind of tell where things are going. It helps you, it helps you stay on the same page as the artist. So, but yeah. It does scare me. I don't like comparing bands and artists that I love, but yeah, agreed. Any kind of innovation, really. Quote, innovation. Hey, I'm just saying. Sit down and try and write a song sometime, guys. Like, and see, like a rock song or a metal song, like whatever kind of song you would want to write the most. And you will probably be shocked at how much, like, if you just like shut your brain off and just go from the heart and just like, it's like, I want this kind of thing, I want this kind of thing, I want this kind of thing, it would sound like this, it would look like this, it would do like this, and then show it to somebody who has similar music tastes, and you'll be shocked at how many different like influences can be immediately picked out. And it's like, that's why having a personality as an artist is so important. There's a difference between making skilled music as a musician and making art as an artist. It's like there's a certain personality and narrative that only you have, that you can use to tie together all of your influences. So that's what DADAROMA does really well, is they have a personality that ties together a lot of influences that people have heard before, but not in the same packaging but not in the way that they're being put together. And so that's why, even though, we've had so many different heavy metal bands in Visual K lately, I think people are starting to get tired of like heavy K. They're not getting sick of DADAROMA. And DADAROMA started during all of that. So they were like at the ultimate disadvantage in that like the market was saturated in terms of heavy bands. So that's sort of like the explanation for a lot of their success, I would say, is they have the personality and they have a unique combination of of familiar sounds that have not been put together in the way that they've been put together. And then the unique personality alters all of that to the point where it becomes very fresh and entertaining and engaging. So yeah, that's about the long and short of it, I would say. I had to go back, wasn't hearing things you said. Did you say Rides in Rebellion? Yeah, I was using them as an example of like taking how like they're innovative by taking two familiar things and putting them together. Their guitarist told us in an interview that they are, that he's inspired by X Japan and the Gazette, particularly the Division album. And he like writes the music and produces it. And it's like, if you listen to Rides in Rebellion, you can kind of tell it's symphonic metal, or not metal, symphonic rock mixed with, electronic music, this nice, delicious electronic music, and put together in a way that other bands haven't quite figured out how to do. So, and then if you look at the titles of the two mini albums they recently did, you can see it's a tribute to that. I may do something for the Rides in Rebellion mini albums. I'm trying to get my hands on them, trying to reach out to somebody. So, yeah, okay. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I am going to do an after hours stream in about 20 minutes. I have a funny topic, a funny rant. I will. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now to make sure that I can get that, up and running to some sort of degree, since clearly everything, like nobody's doing their job today, or no app is doing its job today. But thank you so much for showing up and doing the listening party with me. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And we will have to do a ranking releases for DADAROMA's EPs and mini albums next, I guess. Speaking of ranking releases, next week's weekly edition of VKH Live is going to be just that for Duran Gray. So, we had a Duran Gray listening party back in October. We covered the album quite a bit in streams leading up to it. Shane wrote a good review about it. I've given it a month, for it to sit in everybody's head and figure it out. So we're gonna rank Duran Gray's albums from favorite to least favorite. We're going to put out a survey, have the fans vote, see what the people say, and then we'll probably do the same thing with DADAROMA right after that. So, but yeah, awesome. Well, I will talk to you guys later. See you shortly. Thank you for listening, and be well. Man, I feel a lot better now.